Good morning, everybody, and a very warm welcome. Thank you for joining us today on this Saturday morning. I'm sure weekends are priceless, but it's always great to catch up with the community members for a learning experience. We'll just start the session in a couple of more minutes. We have Bharti joining in. Uh, Hello, Bharti.
Hi, Amrit. Good morning.
Hi, Bharti. So
Good
nice to
morning,
see you.
everybody.
Yeah, so uh, we are just about to start today's session. Firstly, Bharti, thank you on behalf of the entire community for doing this session with us. You have been mentoring people day in, day out. You yourself have been leading a company, HireMap IT Consultants, where you head the talent acquisition for various startups across the globe, not only in India, but also some international clients. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of learning from you today in this session.
Yeah.
A warm welcome, all of you all. Bharti, thank you so much for doing this session today. Mentor AMA sessions are it's an initiative by the community to bring the mentor close to the mentee to solve the problem of approachability when it comes to seeking mentorship. And this is one of the challenges that we have uh, discovered within the community, that a lot of entrepreneurs don't understand the importance of mentorship. A lot of entrepreneurs who understand the importance of entrepreneurship are unable to seek mentorship because of a lot of interpersonal issues, or maybe if I can say, awkward conversations that they can't have. So through mentor AMA sessions, we bring the mentors closer to the mentees and break the ice between the mentor and the mentee, so that these sessions could sort of act as a starting point for your relationship with the mentors, right? So we don't vouch for these sessions to solve all your challenges around entrepreneurship or whatever the theme is for the session, but these sessions do act as a starting point for you. So without much ado, we would like to start today's session. And Bharti, I'll be convening the session with you for today, and I'll be one by one narrating the questions and the background of the organization. And I think we are good to go. Followed by your response, Bharti. We'll have a chance for the founder to ask you a follow-up question if they wish to. They can raise their hands. If they don't wish to, we can go with the next question.
Okay.
Right. All right. So let's get started with the first question. Um, all right. The first Menti is a company that specializes in creating um, learning aids for children. The challenge that the entrepreneur has shared. Menti is interested in learning how to build a team from scratch and convince individuals to join based on equity.
Okay. Thanks, Amrit. Thanks, everyone, for giving me an opportunity to share my experience. So, the first mentee is actually looking to build the question that I have got is like how to build a team from scratch and convince individuals to join based on equity. So, this is I don't know whether this is the first employee that they are planning to hire after the founder, or if the founding team is there and they are at a place where they want to hire the uh, next set of employees. So, the founder has to be first very clear that when they are hiring, who is that they want to hire on. It is someone, 0 to 1 hiring. 0 to 1 is the most important. Most of the time the individuals are the only sole entrepreneurs, mostly the sole entrepreneurs. For them to get the second person onto the team is always a challenge, and that there is no uh, uh, math or a proper recipe to tell that, okay, you do 1 plus 1, that is going to get you the next one. So when you are building a team from 0 to 5 and 5 to 10, right? So this is one of the very, very challenging pace. So 0 to 5, it has to happen in a very, very systematic way, and it has to be a slow process. You cannot really go put a job ad, meet 5 people, and hire one of them. That doesn't really work. See, 0 to 5 is always like bringing in the first set of employees who are complementing your skills and also have the same kind of a vision, mission, what you're carrying, right? Like it is almost like a mother sharing the womb and trying to bring out a healthy baby out. Being a mother, that's what, like, I always consider startup as the babies, right? So it doesn't really happen very quickly. The founders have to really understand that it is not a quick action of building 0 to 5, 5 to 10 is a slow process, and this has to happen through the network. Okay, you have to be meeting people, and you have to fix a time for yourself. Okay, I mean, 1 quarter is the time that I'm going to give, and I am going to be meeting the people with respect to the forum that what you are, or the domain what you are there. Start meeting people, start throwing the out that, okay, there is a startup like this which is trying to find the co-founder who has these kind of a skills, or okay, they are finding their first 5 members of the team. It might not be a co-founder, but the initial team, right? So the way the founders prepare themselves to pitch to an investor, right? Someone who is going to pump in the money. For them, you try to prepare documents, okay, the whole set of your business proportions, where you're going to be there in the 5 years. In the similar way, you have to be, the founders have to be prepared themselves to present to the initial employees. Either, I mean, someone who is there on a job, you're asking them to come on an equity. First, you need to be prepared. Okay, what is that I am going to give to Amrit? For example, Amrit comes from the marketing experience. I come from the recruitment experience. Okay, I want either Amrit to join me, or Amrit wants me to join him. So, okay, Bharti's salary is X in the market today. Okay, if she has to join, you have to look at the scenario of myself, right? Like, okay, what is this person's value in the market today? Okay, if he or she is going to join me today for zero, what is that you are going to get at the end of the 5 years? Okay, if I'm going to go for a acquisition, or go for an IPO, what is that I'm going to give? You have to be very, very clear. It is not just in the discussions, it has to be in the paper. There has to be a lot of groundwork the person has to do for himself, prepare himself very professionally, and present the company or the opportunity with the prospect initial team. And this is one thing which the founders have to prepare themselves. And where do I go and find? The next question could be, okay, Bharti, I've prepared everything. I know what is that, if what is that I can offer for a person who can come and join. So the next question could be, where should I go and find? Should I go and find them, or any of the other job boards? I mean, you don't know where that person is, right? Like, there might, I mean, it is always like identifying a startup that I want to join, or identifying a person who is fit for a startup. Both of them are not really there in one particular place. If you want to bring in an employee, yes, you go and hit the job boards. You can find I mean, employees over there, but then you are finding someone who has that entrepreneurial mindset, who wants to be something beyond an employee. It is not always on the monetary, right? Monetary is, yes, of course, all of us require money, but beyond money, the first 10 employees has to be thinking beyond the money, what is that they want to create for themselves. So you have to be, I mean, most of the startups that I have worked with, bringing in the first 5 to 10 employees, always the networks has helped. So, I mean, the way that I built my company, I mean, believe it or not, the first 5 years, my entire day, right from 7 o'clock to evening 8 o'clock, I was there in one or the other events, meeting people back home at 8, and then I start to work on my deliverables. So that's how I was. I mean, initial time, like, I mean, people will think you are crazy because you don't have any kind of a money, you're working day in and day out. I mean, that's how only the network can help you to bring in 5 to 10 employees. I mean, that network doesn't really, like, you go and appear in one event, people will not build that connection and then start referring you people. Okay, you have to build that credibility with the networks that you are building in, and I mean, don't be ashamed to ask help. Be open. Okay, this is what I've been doing. I'm looking for a co-founder. I'm looking for my first team member who comes with these kind of a skill set. And I mean, this is what you need to be talking very passionately about it, and bombard wherever you get an opportunity to talk, and bring it. And you cannot really, okay, today I have, and next 1 week, 10 days, I want to bring in someone because I have a business on hand, I want to deliver something, so I really need. No, during that kind of a period, even if you're not able to make the money, either outsource it, go and sit with that consulting team or the consulting company, and then get the work done for your client, but never hurry in building the first few members. There is a lot more I
I
can
think the
talk
first few
on.
members, yeah, I think the first few members are going to be the foundation of your company, and I think even they were sharing, appreciating the perspective that you have given. That networking can be used to hire the initial team members, and I think it's not one event that will help you. It's going to be a progressive
Yeah.
effort that you put for all the events. In fact, the next question that's coming in is also on the similar lines
Similar line,
from
yes.
yeah, our mentee is running India's first personalized aroma therapy self-care brand dedicated to helping women reconnect with their desires. So the question that mentee has is that she's looking to understand how to hire senior resources through equity when they don't have enough funds to provide or match up to the salaries that
Yeah.
they. So your views on that?
Yeah. When I was reading this question, and also the previous question that we were discussing, right? I can remember Deepti. I mean, I met her in
Doraemon.
Bangalore. Yeah, Doraemon. I mean, I met her offline, and the half an hour or the 45 minutes time that we brainstormed. I mean, she was trying to find someone who could help her in managing the complete back office for her. I mean, this is what I was trying to tell her. I mean, depending on the business that you are building in, right? You need to identify within your hand reach who are the people. I mean, it could be even as, I mean, as small as your office boys or your peons or your mates. I mean, you have to reach out to everyone who are there in your radar. That's what happened with Deepti. Deepti was speaking to someone. I mean, during the conversation, she said about a lady who has been almost like 50 years of age, and she's been approaching Deepti on the couple of challenges that she has been facing in. The questions that I asked her actually raised Deepti's antenna. And after a month, like, Deepti came back to me and said, like, it is good that I met you. I found this person. I mean, the questions that you asked really helped me to identify this person, and I'm completely out of my back office work, and I can now completely focus on the core part of the business where I want to grow on. So when you really want to, the business, whatever you are in, you need to identify the domain, okay? And then click on, okay, for example, it could be a fashion, if you're into a fashion product or a luxury product, okay, and you want to bring in someone at a very senior level, okay, their salary might be 10x of what your business is at this point of time, but you very well know that if this person is going to come to me today, okay, in the next 5 years I can be 10x or 100x of whatever she's been making today. But how are you going to bring them? So as I said, you have to be prepared very well on the documentation part or the big picture of it. And when you are bringing in someone like that, if you are at a very early stage, pre-revenue stage, I mean, it's my personal opinion. It could not be the opinion of everyone. And this has worked for me. And from my experience, what I have done is like, when I really want to bring someone who is at a very senior level and who can be really an influencer for my business, I mean, the part-time or the consulting mode has really helped me, so that like it's not always the skills for the startups, right? It is also the chemistry. I always tell, finding a co-founder or the first five members is much more challenging than finding your spouse. The time that you spend on dating to find your spouse or your life partners, right? In a similar way, you have to be patient enough, do lot of water test, and then bring in. And sometimes like our guts work, sometimes our intuitions works. There might not be proper equation that why I would like to work with Amrit or Suranjika, or why Suranjika or Amrit wants to work with me. But I mean, we are humans, somewhere that human connection works. But I always tell, when you really want to bring in someone like that, bring on a consulting mode for an initial pay, so that they also understand your business, you will also understand them. And then once you are there on the same page, I mean, get them on full time.
Yeah, it makes sense because
Maybe I can maybe, if someone,
yeah,
I mean, whoever has asked the question, if they can connect to me offline, maybe for half an hour or
yes,
45 minutes, I can try to I mean, bring in much more context to it, because I see that there is a lot more questions. Since
yeah.
these two are very similar, I would like to take
In
the other
fact,
question.
the third one is also on the similar lines. By large,
Yeah.
when we talk about building the initial team for a startup,
Mm.
finding the co-founder and finding the first team members
Yeah.
is the challenge. Talking about the third mentee, obviously, please feel
Yeah,
free to
I
reach out
think
to
so. Like we
Bharti.
can, I mean,
Uh,
I've spoken.
yes,
Sorry, maybe the third question, almost like at a very close level, like we have spoken on that. uh, I would ask you, request you to go to the next one, because they are
yes.
on the next gamut of team
Correct,
building.
correct, correct. Exactly. In fact, the third question was from a D2C brand specializing in the lab
Hmm.
grown diamond jewelry. Again, focusing on the co founder scouting and recruiting the first team members. And I think
Yeah.
networking is one of the approaches that can
Yes.
be taken, what Bharti highlighted. And
Yeah.
I think mode of collaborations can differ, right? From not
Yes.
necessarily it being a full time hire, but a consulting role to begin with, which will help both the parties to set the context on the business and
Yes.
quickly moving on to the fourth bit, the fourth mentee operates in the digital marketing agency space that assists clients worldwide in improving their
Mm-hmm.
brand image. The question
Mm-hmm.
is, they're working on enhancing team engagements and communication, um, especially with team members who are hesitant to speak with the managers. What would your advice be to them?
See, when I read the last when I heard the last sentence that you said, right, the team members are hesitant to speak to the manager. This is kind of really an alarming thing for the company or the startup. I mean, this should not be there. You are in a startup, the first thing, I mean, the founders have to really maintain his open culture, open communication, right? And there should not really be kind of an hierarchy, okay? Everyone is important. I mean, the people, this is what I was telling you in the when we started, right? in the early stage, the culture that you bring in, the people that you bring in, the attitude that you set within the office or within the boardrooms is really very, very important. You should not, I mean, the single focus of the entire 10 people team has to be only one goal: growth, customer satisfaction, right? And okay, these are the things which has to be focused on. There are no rooms for egos, there are no rooms for any kind of a politics. So everyone, the founder has to not think that, hey, I have hired a fresher, I already have, my team is about 10 people, 15 people, why should I go and meet that uh, fresher whom I'm going to hire? I suggest, I have seen founders, I have worked with startups where the senior person or the managing director or the founder of the company, till the company is about 200 or 250, he has done the final interview. So it is very, very important that the founder speaks to each and every hire of the company, okay, and maintain that relationship. Okay, all of us understand that, okay, we are a startup and the founders are really very occupied either in the deliverables or bringing in the sales, but equally they have to give the importance for the people whom they have hired, spending time with them, talking to them casually, not just on the work, okay, talking to them casually and giving that space for everyone in the company to knock his door and come in and then talk to him. So that has to be the culture of any startup. So, I mean, this is not the good phase. It clearly tells that the manager's leadership is not the right leadership. You can't, I mean, the founder cannot tell, okay, that's the, they're not comfortable to speak to the managers. Okay, you are there, right? Like those people can come and speak to you. You need to build that space. You need to give that kind of comfort for anyone to come and speak to you. That should happen right from the first time that you're going to hire. You need to start building relationship with each and every employee that you're going to onboard. That starts right from the interview.
I think I really appreciate the corrective measure what you presented over here. While managers and hierarchies are there, the founders are expected to form or create that space where team members
Yes.
can directly come and have a link to the top level team, basically. Right.
Yes.
So I think this is something which can turn into an elaborate discussion slash hand holding, wherein Bharti, you could help people in or someone was asked this question, right? So I'll encourage folks to get in touch with Bharti for having a conversation on this, maybe on WhatsApp or maybe on a call, if she can spare some time on this. And I think this will
Yeah.
really help you get going the 0 to 1 thing in terms of how you could establish or create that space. Thank you so much, Bharti. Uh, Along with the entire group, for us also, it's a immense learning and perspective about various such situations. Quickly
Yeah.
moving on to the next question, Bharti. Our sixth mentee is a creative media agency founder that provides innovative services to startups and individuals. One of the main challenges that they are facing in team building is to identify right people, considering both the attitude towards work and skill set. So, your thoughts towards that will help.
See, okay. For example, like this is a creative company and they want to hire people not just with the attitude, but I mean, not just the skill, but also attitude, right? Uh, I mean, my understanding is right, Amrit?
Yeah.
It's so, I mean, in my previous session, I had already discussed on this, right? As a founder, first you need to create a persona of the person, okay, who can come and sit in your, I mean, come and work for you, right? So there might be hundreds of creative agencies which are there in the market, but your agency is quite different from the others, right? So you really need to create, okay, I need someone from these these kind of college. I mean, a persona can be, I have done the strategies for the hiring wherein like I've gone to the basics of, okay, from which city has this person done the schooling, okay, has he done his degree from this kind of a college, okay, and then okay, where did he do first job. You really need to create the persona. Okay, on the skill wise, there are a lot of tools that you can try to identify, okay, whether this person is good in designing or whether this person is good in communication or what. There are some tools which can really help you to measure at least 70 to 80% of the skills that what you have been looking for through various kind of interview process. When it comes to attitude, there is a huge difference between the person who has born and brought up in metros to the person who has born and brought up in tier 2 or tier 3 cities, right? So there could be variation. I mean, this is not math that I'm speaking about the humans. There could be variations, but to be close to the recipe that what we really want, okay, the creative agency XYZ might be good for us. I mean, making the list of target companies, okay, from where you want to hire on, okay. uh, I mean, you can go either the basics of, as I said, you right from the, for you to understand the attitude of it.
There seems to be some connectivity issue with Bharti. We'll just quickly check in a moment and revert on this. Bharti will be reconnecting in a moment. There's some connectivity lag over there. I hate, when these things happen, when there's an interesting conversation that's going on and this connectivity issues come in. Uh, we have 3 to 4 more questions still pending. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
Hi,
I'm there.
Bharti. Are we
Oh,
good?
sorry. I'm really sorry on that.
Not your fault, the
Uh,
internet fault.
I mean, this is one of the very interesting questions for me because I have done this. Worksheet kind of an assignment for every startup that I work with, right? Like, I would really tell that, like, for this particular question, the founder has to sit and create the persona of the person because the attitude, right? There might be different kinds of the attributes the attitude would be throwing on, right? It could be right from the customers that this person would be working for, and the attitude which works with one customer will not work with the other customers, right? So the founders have to create the persona of the people that they want to hire on and match that with the skill and then start doing the interview. When they are doing the interviews, like this sheet has to be there within them, that okay, these are the attributes that I've been looking for, and make a tick on it. And most of the time, like I see that like people doesn't record the interviews, because the response that we get once I ask one of the question, I will jump on to the next. But either today there are a lot of tools where you can record your interviews. If you're not really that good in making the notes, I really suggest either it could be an offline event or an online event to record the interviews. So that could really help them. I mean, creating a worksheet for yourself before you start the interview is very much important.
Great. Thank you so much for that insight. I think we would also love some kind of thoughts on um, how founders can focus on getting people with the right attitude. Maybe some kind of document that you could share going forward in the week or the
Yeah.
upcoming week. It'll really help because
Yes.
skill sets are a technical way of having people in the team, but then getting the attitude is a a qualitative measure that a founder has to look into, and how that can be achieved is something
Yes.
that we will value.
Yeah.
All right, going to the next question. The seventh mentee deals with the founder is leading a web development, web design, and digital marketing service company. The challenge is to understand the team dynamics during projects, and is looking to learn how teams should be built and how should they interact throughout a project's life cycle.
This happens when you're setting up the team for any of the particular project, right? I mean, there has to be a combination of people. Everyone could not be a power lifter in the team. Everyone might not have that kind of patience. What is required for a project, right? When you're building up the team, you have to understand the project deliverables and what the customer expectation is, how the customer is, and build the team according to it, or set the tone when you are starting off the project with the team members. uh, that is one of the very first step on configuring the team when you are starting a project. And the second thing what she's been asking is how the communication or the interaction happened during the project life cycle, right? Like, I mean, however, methodically you try to build the timeline of the project, there is always ups and downs, and there might be lot of time. Like it, you may have to you will be going beyond the timelines. At that point of time, I mean, when you are interviewing, you really need to tell and make the people understand that you are working for a startup and this is not a time bound job. With the startups that I have been working on, I mean, during the interview process, we clearly tell that, like, we are not a company which measures the performance based on the timeline. There is no login, log out. What is really counted is the deliverables. We don't know. I mean, uh, it depends on business to business. The way that I handle the interactions during the project life cycle is we talk only about the deliverables. Deliverables are the most important aspect for any of the projects that you are handling in. I mean, no one today is interested in knowing, okay, I worked for 10 hours, but then I was not really able to get the result what I wanted. I mean, you might spend half an hour, you might get that result. Today, you have, I mean, talk about the deliverables, not on the timelines. Give them the, I mean, create a environment or the communication in the organization where people can easily breathe, so that like if they have a challenge, they can come and talk to you and tell you that this is the help that they require for them to do this. I mean, I'm not really able to understand the challenge, I need an help. I mean,
Uh, so so
everywhere the
so so Bharti, in this the same mentee has just shared the follow-up question on the same context, is that there is a lack
Mhm.
of coordination within the team, right? The team is very skilled
Mhm.
and the team is very disciplined, but there is a lack of coordination which is causing a problem for the founder. So how would you go about advising?
Then, I mean, if there is a coordination problem, then someone who is a project manager or someone who is managing the entire project has to be on the tab, on the, I mean, on a, I don't know if they're doing the daily stand-ups. I mean, when a scenario happened like this, what I personally do is I do a stand-up when we start our day, and I do a stand-up at the end of the day.
Hmm.
So, I mean, you know where you are when you start the day, and when you are ending the day, like you know whether there has been a progress if, or not. And if there is a challenge, like the person has to really vent it out, because if not today evening, tomorrow morning, he has to give out the answer why he is not able to do it.
Hmm.
Either it could be the challenge from his end or his peers, or it could be even the manager himself, he might not be available to make a decision on a challenge which he has come across. So the problem is solved on a daily basis.
Hmm. Hmm. Right, perfect. Um, Thank you so much. Quickly, let me take the next question up. Our eighth mentee is a social media marketing firm specializing in
Mhm.
serving growth stage startups. They are grappling with the challenge of aligning with the expectations and behaviors of the Generation Z, the Gen Z talent. Handling the mindset, behavioral tantrums of younger talent can be complex, and they're seeking advice on how effectively manage or match up with the unique traits of Gen Z employees.
Yeah, I mean, this is the challenge of the entire industry, I can tell you. I mean, handling Gen Z is kind of really difficult. I mean, we all have to build our own mindset on handling Gen Z talent, but the kind of the work that they deliver something given to them, and if they are really very interested, I mean, if someone can do the job in 10 days, these guys can do in 4 or 5 days if you have the right team. But here, I mean, uh, the attitude what you are going to set with Gen Z is most important. The communication is really very important. If you ask them to sit for 9 to 5, log in at 9 o'clock, you have to log in at 9 o'clock and uh, do this kind of a job, and this has to be done within this particular timeline. I mean, if you try to follow that kind of a very strict, expecting too strict kind of a discipline with this generation kids, it's you will be really uh, very unhappy with them. So the way that we have been handling the interns and also the freshers that we have been hiring is one of the things that I have followed in the last couple of startups. Is one is like, I try to take a lot of interns. I mean, when I really need to hire about like 2 or 3 interns, I hire at least about 10 to 15 interns. Work with them for at least about 6 months of time, 3 months. I mean, it's kind of a really a short period for us to understand them, even when the skill set is when they are really good, but the discipline is kind of really taken off. But you really need to give a room for them, and strictly on the strictly on the deliverables. Okay, whether you're going to come to the office at 9 o'clock, or whether you're going to come to the office at 12 o'clock. Okay, the deliverables should be there, and you have to be there in your stand-ups. Talk only, my business that I have been part of, it has the luxury on giving them, asking no giving them the time whenever they want to come in. They can come in, they work till early morning, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and then the next day they are in the office only at 1 or 2. And the startup that I had worked with, they really didn't had the very strict policy of working only from office. They could work from home, at least, slowly, like we started to call them to the office to come 1 or 2 days. But the main focus or the goal was only one thing, okay, on the deliverables. Not everyone, Gen Z is a kind of a very difficult set of kids to handle on. But then, uh, the available talent when you want to hire a fresher or a 1+ or a 2+ are them. So, depending on what their attitude is, like we also need to fine tune the process and build a process where the only focus has to be on getting the work done. And for that, the things that I had been worked on is when we hired a fresher, 2 months, 3 months, like we had to really send them off. Not everyone, but there are few, mainly because of the attitude issue. So from then on, for us to, the workable model was hire good number of interns from very good colleges, and then filter out like 2 or 3 among them, or sometimes one.
Right. I think it's an interesting perspective to have, and cracking the code for Gen Z is going to be an ever evolving.
There is nothing which is ready as of now. All of us have to work out and then figure out what's the best model that could work out.
Right, right. Quickly moving on to the last question, which is an ad hoc question that we received. For those just messaging me that we can't see you, I've put out the video so that Bharti's bandwidth can accommodate the session. That is the reason I'm off the video and I'm just on audio. The last question, as an ad hoc question that we have received, Bharti, is how would you advise about how would you advise hiring from tier 3 cities or beyond for a startup?
There are some amazing talents in tier 3 cities. It's one is the best thing is, like, there could be a lot of smaller companies in the tier 3 cities, which you can initially make as target to go and talk to the people. You can hear me, Amrit? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
You can, right? Okay.
Yes.
So one of the things, I have been able to hire some of the very good software developers from smaller cities like Ahmedabad, and down south like Coimbatore, Madurai, and all. You might not find them very great in communication, but you can really find kids who are whose attitude is really very good, who are really very hardworking candidates. I have come across. The only way is one could be the colleges and be part of the local networks there. I'm a person who has grown last 20 years through networking, so you could find me telling always about networking. There could be a lot of smaller networks in each of these cities. There could be 1 or 2 people. You have to build a connection with the people who have been living there, and then start to spread out the word. that's how like you can grow. You have to be there on the ground for some time, and then build those networks who would be helping you to identify the talent in these cities. But you cannot really expect everything from the talent that you get there could be a lot of things you may have to compromise. But yes, the cost sometimes it can be less. But then you guys know what has been happening in the last couple of years post COVID. So most of the very good companies have been giving remote. I have even come across resources who are getting paid more than the people in metro what they've been getting. So I mean, you would be able to get, but networking is important. You have to be showing up that you are looking to hire in these cities on LinkedIn or any other platforms, social media platforms. Keep spreading the word. And I mean, it is a consistent effort till you build the network in these cities, so that like someone who wants to move from there are a lot of people who want to move from the metros to the smaller cities. So that could be one of the channel for you to get the resources.
Right. I think if I were to summarize, having go out on LinkedIn about your intent of hiring teams
Yes.
or people from tier 2, tier 3 cities and beyond is one of the ways. Second is find
Yeah.
digital ways of networking with people, be a part of communities or maybe college groups or college
Yes.
communities, which could basically help you interact with those people. And I think, again, networking
Mhm.
is a way to solve a lot of challenges. And I think, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. There would be a lot of alumni networks, right? Which could be there. I mean, connect with someone from an alumni from one of the very good college over there. Ask them to send you a message across their alumni network, and that could be one more challenge. So if you can just, if you have goal on a whiteboard and then start writing on that.
all right. So, since we have about 5 minutes left, Bharti, I hope you're able to hear me.
Mhm.
We have got another add-on
Yes,
question
yes, I
that when you're
can.
not a brand yet, ready to attract
Mhm.
talent, when you're not a brand yet, who's ready to attract the talent,
Mhm.
how can we convince
Mhm.
people to be a part of our vision and what we are trying to do?
Yeah, the founder itself is a brand, right? The way that I said you in the initial call, uh, till the way that how you prepare, how does an investor invest in you, right? Like most of the time, the initial seed is funded to the company, looking at the way the founder is, right? Like the founder he himself has to sell his experience. He has to be a good storyteller for he has to be a good storyteller where he will be able to emphasize on the kind of the work that he has done, the results that he has given to the startup. Okay, the work has to talk. He has to sometimes, like, i mean you have to really be a good person who can blow your trumpet very well
Hmm.
and then talk. Not everyone is a not everyone can build bigger brands, right? Like, we have to do the brand building for ourselves. Someone has to come and buy a product or a services, looking at Bharti, looking at Amrit, looking at Suranjika. So
Hmm.
today, like, it's not like 15, 20 years back, right? Like where you did not had social media. Today you have social media. You go and do a work with a customer, ask those customers, once you have delivered a good work, ask the customer to endorse you on LinkedIn.
Hmm.
right?
Right.
So
Right.
Sagar is asking, I'm a recruitment startup, so it's quite
Yeah.
challenging
The
for me
question
to
that I
hire a
asked you
good
was from
recruiter.
Sagar.
Yeah. So hiring a good recruiter. Oh, recruiters are one of the very difficult hire, Sagar. Me being in and out of it on in the industry, finding a good recruiter, like you have to really. I mean, as I said you in the first, like prepare your assessment sheet, okay, and then start talking to the people, give them a search. I mean, give them a challenge to work on when you're meeting them, see what, I mean, how they've been able to deliver. Um, I mean, I can offline because you're asking a very industry, I mean, one particular domain specific question. I would be happy to really talk to you and help you to understand how you would be able to find a good recruiter. Would that be good, Amrit?
Perfect. Perfect. Can you hear me, Bharti?
Yeah, I can hear you, Amrit.
Yeah. Your voice was cracking, Bharti. Can you come again?
No. I mean, I was saying, like, can I answer Sagar's next question on uh, how to hire a good recruiter? Can I take it
Uh,
offline?
yes, please.
Because
You
it's
you
very
can you can
focused to
yes.
his
That's okay.
business,
That's
because
okay.
that might be
Absolutely
out of
fine.
interest
You
for
can take
others.
it offline with Sagar. In fact,
Mhm.
uh, we would also like to share some resources in the community in collaboration with you,
Mhm.
Bharti. One around one around getting a good recruiter, and
Mhm.
also cracking the code for Gen Z, which has been
Yeah.
by far one of the largest
Mhm.
largest challenges that people are seeking help with. Right? We have ran a poll in the community that talks about the uh, identifying right attitude and skills. That is one of the
Mhm.
challenges that people are trying to you know uh, get a
Mhm.
resolution for, and again the Gen Z
Mhm.
code. So yeah, we can take these things
Mhm.
offline, and you can, Sagar, you can please connect with Bharti in this context, and I'm sure that it'll be a meaningful conversation with her. And with this, Bharti, we would like to wrap up today's session. We have completed all the
Yeah.
10
Mhm.
questions, and it was very kind of you to keep it very crisp and quick.
Mhm.
Since
Mhm.
this is our second event, the first event ran into 2 hours of session, which was originally planned for one. So that's why we tried to keep it crisp and
Yeah.
concise. And I'm
Mhm.
glad that we
Yeah.
could accommodate all the questions. For
Yeah.
the upcoming sessions, stay tuned in the community, folks. And before I conclude, Bharti, th thank you on behalf of
Mhm.
the entire community. Any closing statements that you would have for the founders building the early teams?
I'm repeating it throughout my entire session. Building the team is one of the, equally a big challenge for any of the founders. The time and effort, like you put in brainstorming your ideas or bringing up the ideas, or bringing in your seed investor, the equal amount of time and patience you really need to have to bring in the initial team. The initial team is more than 70-80% success for your business. If you go wrong in building the initial team, I mean, the time taken is more. You can fail once. I tell you, like, you can fail once, but don't try to repeat the same hiring mistake when you're hiring the next person. If something has not worked out in one of the failures of the hiring, make a good notes of it, talk to yourself and whoever is your team member on that, and then don't try to do it. Keep networking wherever it is there. Talk about that you're hiring, and that's what I would like to tell Amrit.
I think that is a great that is great. Really These are just golden pieces of wisdom, and I'm sure we'll have a good summarization of this session today and have it shared with the community through a blog so that no one misses out on the wisdom that you shared today with us. So, on that note, Bharti, let's wrap up today's session. Once again, thank you so much for doing this session for the community, and we look forward to having more sessions with you. And those who want to extend the dialogue with Bharti, please feel free to get in touch with her. And until next time, thank you so much and have a great weekend, guys. Thank you so much, Bharti.
Thank you, Amrit. Thanks for the opportunity. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Suranjika.
Thank
Thank
you,
you. Bye.
Suranjika, for arranging this. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.